NBA player props here on PrizePicks for Thursday, April 20th. Before I get started, there is a link in the description below to sign up for PrizePicks, or you guys can use promo code TUFF to sign up. 100% deposit match. Discord link is in the description as well as Patreon link, where I do post all the plays here that I'm making on PrizePicks for each given sport that I do play. Again, I'm not a gambling expert, and this is not financial advice. These are simply just the plays I'm personally looking at making. Hopefully, give you guys some insight and analysis to then make your own player prop decisions here. But let's get into it, you guys. It's been a really rough, I guess, last 3 to 4 days here for us on PrizePicks. Definitely looking to bounce back. I mean, I'm gonna continue with the same process, continue with the same research. But yeah, I got 2 plays here that I like from tonight's slate. Take a look at the slate tonight. We got Philly versus Brooklyn, Sock versus Golden State, and Phoenix versus the Clippers. Now, I'm expecting all of these games to be a lot closer than kind of what we've been seeing in these series. I mean, Philadelphia has kind of blown out Brooklyn in 2 games at home, but now Brooklyn's back at home, so this game should be a little more competitive. It's only a 4.5 point spread. We've been kind of seeing at least 8 to 9 point spread in this matchup for the first 2 games. Golden State back at home, where we know they play extremely well. This should be an extremely fast-paced, high-tempo matchup with no Draymond Green for the Warriors. And then look at, Jordan Poole and Wiggins and Peyton are all questionable as well. So definitely interesting. I'm expecting at least 2 of these guys to end up probably playing tonight. And then Clippers Phoenix at the night game, or both these games are at night, I guess. Clippers Phoenix should be a fun one as well with a 2.5 point spread. But I got 2 plays here that I'm targeting. Let's not waste any time. Let's get right into it. So the first one is gonna be right here. It's gonna be Tyrese Maxey over 19.5 points. He's coming off a game where he had 33 points against Brooklyn on the road. We take a look at this game, 4.5 point spread. Like I said, Tyrese Maxey should get a heavy dose of minutes. We're looking at probably projected. He played 40 minutes, I think, in the first game, or game 2. I'm expecting him to play 35 plus tonight in what should be a close matchup. We take a look at his game log this season on the road. This has just an elite hit rate, you guys. You can see here, Tyrese Maxey game log on the road. He's probably hit this in 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 8. So 17 of his last 25 games. But take a look at how many. We're taking it like, let's just take a look at this last 12 games, right? Last 12 road games for Tyrese Maxey. 1, 2, 3, 4. He's literally hit this in 11 of his last 12 road games. 11 of his last 12 road games. Let's just take a look at his averages. His averages last season on the road, I don't know if that's going to calculate it. He's averaging 25.8 points per game on the road this season. Okay, great spot for Tyrese Maxey on the road against Brooklyn. Now we take a look at Brooklyn over the last 30 days, or the last 30 games. They're giving up the 3rd most points per game to the shooting guard position. Okay, we just saw Tyrese Maxey. If we take a look at his game log, we just saw Tyrese Maxey score 33 points against Brooklyn in 40 minutes. He took 23 shots, 13 from 23, 56.5% from the field, 6 for 13 from 3, and got to the free throw line just 3 times, 1 for 3. But 33 points for Tyrese Maxey. He only took 8 field goal attempts in game 1. So obviously Doc Rivers wanted to pivot that, create more field goal attempts. Also, I think what happened was they started to double team James Harden and Joel Embiid quite a bit more, which did open up opportunities for Tyrese Maxey. Obviously, Brooklyn can't double team 3 players every game, so there should be more consistent opportunity here for Tyrese Maxey at 20 points. It's all we need from him. Just a little bit too low, in my opinion. We take a look at Tyrese Maxey per 36 minutes over the last 60 days. Per 36 minutes on the road, he is averaging 26.4 points per game. I think without question, we're going to see Tyrese Maxey play 36 plus minutes, right? 33 and 40 minutes in this game should be a pretty close matchup. In my opinion, we take a look at his odds here. He's minus 120. Let's just refresh this to see if these odds have moved at all for us on Tyrese Maxey. Really quickly, if this will load for me. So yeah, he's at minus 120 to go over 19.5 on BetMGM and DraftKings. He's listed at Sugar House at 20.5, Bet Rivers 22.5, Unibet 21.5. So we get some value here on PrizePicks at 19.5. All we need is 20 points from him. When this line is set at 19.5, he has hit the over in 10 of his last 15 games. We take a look at his averages as far as his splits go as well. When he's on the road, he's averaging 5 more points per game on the road compared to at home. He takes almost two more field goal attempts, shoots the ball higher from the field, takes more 3-point attempts, shoots 48% from the 3 compared to 38% from the 3 at home. So this is a smash spot. We're talking about a player that scores 5 more points per game on the road, and he just had 33 points at home against this team. He obviously scores more on the road. The hit rate over the last 12, you can see here, 11 of his last 12 games, you guys, he has hit the over on this at home. If we take a look at his game log, let's just do his game log this season on the road, logging 36 plus minutes. Let's just do 36 plus minutes here for Tyrese Maxey. I mean, this should have an extremely high hit rate. We can see here when he plays 36 plus minutes on the road, every single game. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of 10. 10 of 10 times, you guys, when he plays 36 minutes, he has hit the over on this. In a playoff game, must win, or not a must win for the Sixers, but obviously the Sixers want to steal a game at home. I think the Sixers want to get this series over as soon as possible, so they're going to be playing extremely hard, extremely aggressive. I like Tyrese Maxey over 19.5 points tonight. The second play is going to be Klay Thompson over 34.5 fantasy score against the Sacramento Kings. So we take a look at Klay. He's hit this in one of two games this series. He had 37.7 in game 1 and 32.5 in game 2. Not really sure what happened in game 2 here. If we take a look at Klay Thompson, his fantasy score game log this season at home. Well, let's just take a look at his game log this season versus the Kings, including the playoffs. So he only took 13 shots in game 2, which was kind of weird. Did shoot the ball pretty well, 53%, 5 for 10 from 3. And he finished with 32.5 fantasy points in 38 minutes, but he only took 13 shots. I definitely think at home, where he obviously loves to shoot the ball and shoots the ball at such a higher clip, we can see him, exceed this. So this is his fantasy score game log this season against the Kings. We can see, he's had 32.5 plus fantasy in 4 of 6 games. And actually, it's interesting that these 2 games where he had his lowest fantasy score games against the Kings came at home. But these were early in the season, right? October 23rd and November 7th. He had 28.9 and 16.3. Only played 27 minutes in this game where he had 16.3 and only shot 3 for 10 from the field. So I definitely think, obviously, in a playoff game, Klay Thompson is going to play close to 40 plus minutes. And this is an absolute must-win game for the Golden State Warriors. So we take a look at this game. 5.5 point spread, 239.5 over under. We take a look at Klay Thompson, his fantasy score game log this season on the road. You can see here the hit rate, 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8. So 17 of 25 games, 17 of his last 25 games, he has hit the over on this at home. We know Klay Thompson loves to play at home. He's so much better at home. We can see, just taking a quick look at his splits, home versus away, his splits is pretty insane. 24.4 points per game at home compared to 19.2 on the road. Everything else pretty much goes up. Assists, rebounds, free throw attempts, 3-point attempts, field goal attempts goes up tremendously, and then all the percentages obviously go up as well. Klay Thompson, obviously, we know, we've talked about it before, his splits home away is very drastically different. And I mean, considering he just had 32 and 37 fantasy points on the road in SAC, I like my chances here for him to convert at least just 34.6 fantasy points tonight. We take a look at his fantasy score game log this season when he plays 37 minutes, right? 4 of 5 games he's hit the over on this, 40.8, 41, 42, and 68 fantasy points when he plays 37 plus minutes this season at home. We also take a look at his fantasy score game log this season without Draymond Green at home. Obviously, Draymond Green is out. He's had 2 games of 49.9 fantasy and 41 fantasy, so has cleared the over on this pretty easily in 2 games without Draymond Green at home. So I think the concerns of maybe Draymond Green not being able to, give him some of those passes off the screens and things like that. He's smashed the over on this in 2 games at home without Draymond. If we take a look here, over the last 30 days, Sacramento is giving up the 3rd most 3-point makes to the shooting guard position. We know Sacramento, not really great defensively. They can score really well, probably the best scoring offense in the NBA, but their defense is not as strong, right? Every game that they're really in has been a shootout. I'm expecting more of the same at home, although Golden State's defense at home is pretty elite in my opinion. We take a look here at some just per 36 minutes. We take a look at Klay Thompson over the last 11 games per 36, you guys, without Draymond Green on the floor at home. 29.2 points per game is what he's shooting. He's taking 19.9 field goal attempts, but 29 points per game, averaging 36.7 fantasy points per 36 minutes. So a little under, or actually right around 1 fantasy points per minute. I think we're going to see Klay Thompson, a guy that played in the first 2 games in this series, 30 37 and 38. He's going to play 38 plus minutes tonight in a home game here. I think, without question, should be able to clear 34.5 fantasy tonight. I was looking at his points, but at 23.5, I'm pivoting to 34.5 fantasy. I think there will be peripheral stats for Klay Thompson in a super fast-paced game here as well. And then also, with those injury possibilities here for the Golden State Warriors, with, Peyton, Poole, and Wiggins all potentially being out, along with Green obviously being out. But with these three guys being out, if one of these guys misses, it's going to create more minutes and more usage for Klay Thompson as well. So I like Klay Thompson over 34.5 fantasy, Tyrese Maxey over 19.5 points. Both these obviously shooting guards for these teams tonight. Let me know in the comments how you guys feel about these two plays. Drop a like, hit that subscribe button, and as always, let's cash.